My name is Christine Olivieri, your paleo practitioner. Welcome to the third nutrition video lesson in the series. Today we're going to talk about fats and proteins. First, let's talk about sources of healthy fats. Just so you know, often fats and proteins go hand in hand. When you eat a piece of meat, when you have an egg, when you eat nuts, you're eating fats and proteins together. Omega-3 fatty acids, which are basically your EPA, your DHA, and your ALA, are the best sources of the healthiest fats. I'd like for you to eat fatty fish about 2 or 3 times a week. Other good sources of healthy fats are avocados, olives and olive oil, coconut oil, flax, and nuts. Some of the fish that are the highest in omega-3 fatty acids include things like wild-caught salmon, sturgeon, mullet, bluefish, tuna, sardines, lake trout, herring, sablefish, mackerel, and anchovies. In your companion book, you're going to find a sheet that outlines healthy fats. Healthy fats are available in a lot of different foods. I'd like for you to eat foods that are high in monounsaturated fats. Those are your omega-3s, such as the wild-caught fish that we just talked about, olives and olive oil, game meats like buffalo, duck, venison. A lot of people do eat a lot of game meat, and this is healthy meats, very high in omega-3s. Because when an animal is eating a natural diet the way nature intends it to, rather than an artificial man-made diet, the meat is much higher in quality of omega-3s. Free-range organic chicken and eggs from free-range and organic chickens. When you eat chickens, or the meat from chickens, or the eggs from chickens that are fed as natural a diet as possible, the meat is going to be far more healthy and higher in omega-3s. So will the eggs. Now, what do we usually feed our chickens? Unfortunately, we feed our chickens corn and a lot of grain. Well, that makes the chickens very fat, very fast. They also often were giving them steroids and antibiotics to keep them from getting sick, which they still do. There's a little loophole in some of the laws that now when they put on the package, no antibiotics given to the animal, the loophole is that they're allowed to give antibiotics if the animal gets sick. So that's out of your control of whether or not you're eating that animal that had antibiotics. So you want to eat organic. Less likely that they gave that animal antibiotics. And what about eggs? Well, let's talk about eggs. Eggs have gotten a bad rap for the past 30 years or so because they are very high in cholesterol. Your average egg has approximately 185 to 220 grams of cholesterol. They found this out about 30 years ago. The problem is that the cholesterol in the eggs and the cholesterol in the meat is not going to raise your serum cholesterol, unless, of course, you overdo it with eating way too many. But most people don't do that. So don't be afraid of eggs, because even though eggs are high in cholesterol, that's not what raises your serum cholesterol or the cholesterol in your bloodstream. Because most people don't overdo it in the amount of cholesterol foods they eat. And most of the people that have high cholesterol really don't overdo it on those foods. Yet, no, they still have high cholesterol. That's because your liver is a cholesterol factory. And it makes cholesterol out of the high glycemic index carbohydrates that people consume, because those foods don't have cholesterol. So therefore, people don't have a problem eating them. But that's what raises your serum cholesterol, is eating too many high glycemic carbohydrates, like breads and pastas and cereals and bagels. But egg yolks are the most healthy part of the egg. Don't throw that away. You get tons of nutrition. You get lots and lots of vitamin A, D, E, and K, which are all your fat-soluble vitamins. Eggs are also very high in omega-3 fatty acids, with lots of DHA. So eggs are really high in all of your vitamins and nutrition, with over 80% of 9 essential vitamins and minerals. You get calcium, iron, phosphorus, zinc, thiamine, folate, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, and pantothenic acid. Most people think that you get your B vitamins from your breads, your enriched breads, and your breakfast cereals that are also enriched. But that's not true. You get your B vitamins from eggs, and meat products like chicken and other meats. Now, the white part of the egg has only about 80% of three nutrients: magnesium, sodium, and niacin. So yes, you do get sodium from eggs. So you don't have to add salt when you make your eggs. So let's talk a little bit more about healthy fats and proteins. Now we go down to beef, lamb, and pork. Please eat these foods. As a human being, your body is designed to eat these foods, evolutionarily speaking. But please try to find grass-fed versions. You want the healthiest. You don't want to eat unhealthy animals. When we feed our animals grain, which most beef and cattle, most chickens, turkeys are all given grains, these animals get very fat very fast, especially when they also add steroids, which make these animals even bigger. And the problem is, by the time they go to slaughter, they also have obesity and diabetes. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to eat an animal that was sick and had diabetes, and you shouldn't either. We want to eat healthy animals that provide us with the best quality protein. Now, how much is too much protein? Well, most people don't need to worry about getting too much protein due to the satiety factor. You see, fats and proteins are what keep us satiated when we eat a meal. It turns on our satiety hormones and tell us that we've eaten enough. So always have fats and proteins in your meal. Now, what if you have chronic kidney disease? Well, then you probably want to keep your protein down to about 2 grams per kilogram per day of body weight. So if a person weighs 60 kilograms, that would be about 130 pounds. You're probably going to want to have about 120 grams of protein a day. That's if you have chronic kidney disease. But you don't have to worry about getting too much protein if you eat a normal amount of protein. Most people don't get enough protein. Protein contributes to muscle mass building. It also burns more fat, even at rest. And especially in combination with exercise on a daily basis, if you get enough protein, you'll have more muscle, which burns more calories at rest. So look for grass-fed beef, pork, lamb, which is the highest in CLA, which is conjugated linoleic acid, which is an essential fatty acid. So let's talk a little bit more about more healthy fats and protein. Nuts, the best sources of monounsaturated omega-3 fatty acids in nuts are your macadamia nuts and your walnuts, although all nuts are healthy. In your companion book, you'll find a list of the omega-3 and omega-6 ratio in all of your nuts, so you can make smart food choices. Avocados are filled with unsaturated fat and lots of fiber. I recently read a study that suggested we should be eating half an avocado a day. Just slice it up and put it right on the side of your plate. If you don't like avocados, that's too bad. You have to look for healthy fats in other sources. Flaxseed and flax meal. Liver is a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but early man, when he made a kill, would eat all of the organ meats first, because that's where most of your nutrition is. Yes, that's also where your cholesterol is, but like I said before, unless you're eating too much of this stuff, you don't have to worry about a small amount of cholesterol that's in liver or any other organ meats. Also, you look at any other animal that's a hunter on this planet, the first thing that they eat when they make a kill is the organ meats. Also, green leafy vegetables, very high not only in calcium and fiber, but also very high in omega-3 fatty acids. So get plenty of green leafy vegetables. Coconut. Coconut oil is a saturated fat, but it's a very healthy saturated fat. And I want you to make sure that you add this to a healthy diet. There was a study that I had read about a year ago about a woman, a female doctor, where her husband, in his late 50s, started coming down with symptoms of early Alzheimer's. What we do in the medical field to test somebody who has early Alzheimer's is we give them the clock test. We ask them to draw a picture of a clock from memory to determine how advanced their Alzheimer's is. If they draw the numbers outside of the circle, if they can't put the hands inside the circle, if the numbers don't go in sequence, all of these are warning signs. Well, this young man at the age of 58 years old could not draw a clock to any recognition. Well, his wife, being a doctor, did research, and she found that some of the research out there is showing that some people need more saturated fat. Most people need more saturated fat in their diet. And do you realize that she had added coconut, pure coconut, to his diet? And within 2 weeks, he could draw a clock that at least looked like a clock. So this is very, very important information. We should not be eating a low-fat diet. From the information that I'm reading, this research study did suggest that the standard American diet, or what I call the SAD diet, SAD, has way too high in cereal grains. Almost a quarter of American diet is cereal grains. We also eat way too much dairy. And what's dairy? Dairy is baby food for cows. It's milk. Okay, as a mammal, we're supposed to be weaned by the age of 2 or 3 years old. We're not supposed to drink milk through the lifetime. The Dairy Council of the United States would probably beg to differ with me because they make a lot of money selling milk and milk products. However, nature tells us we're not designed to drink milk through the lifetime. We lose our lactase, which is the enzyme that digests lactose, which is milk sugar. And we start having a severe decline in that through our 20s. By the time you reach your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, you probably have hardly any lactase left over to digest the milk products. And therefore, you're going to have some symptoms. Some people more than others. The symptoms would include bloating, gas, an uncomfortable feeling, maybe some gastric distress. And all of this, most people come to realize is just the way their system works, but that's not true. You just don't have enough lactase to digest lactose. So we do eat too many dairy products. Fermentation of dairy products, such as cheese and yogurt, usually makes it a little bit more digestible. Most people can deal with that. Getting back to the standard American diet, we also have way too many refined sugars and refined oils. And that translates to about 72%, from one study I read, of what most Americans eat every day has little to no nutritional value. So we have to stop eating this poor diet. So I teach a paleo-style eating pattern. That's 33% protein, 33% fats, like we just went over, and about 33% vegetables with some fruit. In fact, you can go up to almost 50% of your diet vegetables and fruit. Then you're getting 100% nutrition. But you tell me you're a vegetarian. Oh, too bad. I understand your premise. I reject your conclusion. There's never been a successful human culture on this planet that has been vegetarian for more than a couple of generations. If you do it for religious reasons, if you do it because you love animals, again, I understand your premise, but your conclusion is flawed. You're a human being. You're designed to eat meat. It's why we are what we are, the top of the food chain on this planet. So you cannot eat meat if you want to, but you will be missing out on an awful lot of nutrition. By eating a vegetarian diet, this is completely against our DNA as a human being. So being a vegetarian causes multiple vitamin deficiencies in most people. Zinc, iron, B vitamins, and iodine deficiencies. So right there it tells you that if you're having vitamin deficiencies in your vegetarian eating pattern, then maybe this is not a healthy eating pattern for you as a human being. Because by eating a certain way should not cause you to have to take supplements. That's not natural. Early man did not take supplements when he ate a Paleolithic diet because he got all the vitamins and nutrition that he needed in his diet. Now, also eating a paleo diet is not going to be exactly the way early man ate. Obviously, we can't do that. We don't have the clean waters he had. We don't have the clean and good quality soil that he had. But we can mimic, to the best of our ability, a Paleolithic diet. And that is the best way to eat. So I hope you enjoyed this video lesson, and I hope you tune in to more. My name is Christine Olivieri, and thank you for letting me be your paleo practitioner.